At some point, this was considered a top tier spawn, but now it's mostly a profit hunt. This is the Falcon Bastion. This place is located in SEHWO and is part of the Secret Library quest, so for the first time getting there, you will have to go through Oberon and follow the steps for the Order of the Falcon in that questline. And then by having completed the Mission 9 of the New Frontier, you unlock a shortcut through SEHWO by using the raft on the shore. This can be used both ways and is the safer and quickest way to get here. As for the spawn to hunt, it's located in -2 going through a teleport. There is only 2 creatures here and the ratio is of about 6 knights to 4 paladins, so in terms of prey efficiency, you get more from knights, but at the same time, the paladins are the ones that do majority of the damage, which is mostly physical, followed by energy and earth. Paladins do have a holy beam that is not as often, so I wouldn't gear up just for that. Focus on physical and energy, and in the case of the knight, probably a gnome or lion shield with the other element protection. I think the damage spread is similar on the mages, so keep that in mind. Offensively, they are pretty much neutral to the main elements, so whatever your best available weapon as the EK should be your go-to, or optionally, in the case of lower levels, a weapon with added energy protection is very useful. But for mages, all their elements do the same damage. In terms of wheels, it depends on the levels of course, but for those in the low 400 range, I will go for HP stats on the EK with Gift of Life. RP must go for the grenade, as the only element they are weak to is holy, so that should take priority. For Druid and Sorcerer, I will get an upgrade on your Terra and Energy Waves. Additionally, the way of hunting I will be covering on this video requires the usage of 3 walls from the Druid, so bring a good amount of them for this. The hunt itself takes place mainly on the last floor. That's where most of the density of the Falcons is, and you get to do the best pulls. For the very first pull you do when you get to the spawn, you can clear the Falcons by the southeast, or optionally run past them and get to the actual pull spot. Here the EK has to do a small lap around to lure creatures, meanwhile mages set up a trap with the 3 walls by the south of the spot. For the paladin, it's recommended to help with the luring and then stay outside of the traps. Even if you end up taking 2 falcons, which can be stopped with more walls, you should be safe. And with them being weak to holy, it's very beneficial to Minnesang every other turn. Now for the next pull, everyone goes northwest. EK lures from the left of the flames and on the way there, and the RP peaks towards the north. For some that are usually stuck in the back, mages will not have gone the same path, instead they set off from the other side of the spikes around here. They are still able to heal and use waves just fine from here. Additionally, the RP gets a nice spot for Minnesang that is pretty safe. For this next pull, RP or MS can lure whatever is left from the previous one. EK peeks towards the east to bring Falcons out of the middle, and either RP or MS lures from the south side, with everyone meeting by the spot. For this pull, keep in mind the MS gets his wave caught by the wall, so once the first couple Falcons on the EK die and there is no extras outside, he should go out to properly hit the waves. As for the paladin, he should place a magic wall to avoid having to tank the 2 in this position, but do that on the south spot to avoid blocking the attacks from the MS. But optionally, there is a spot by the southeast where you can also use walls to shoot from range, although I recommend to not do that as your main damage comes from the Minnesang. Moving on, go southeast. The EK will grab the creatures from the southwest and bring them slowly to the right. Meanwhile, ED gets to the spot and builds the walls, and either RP or MS should be luring the creatures from the right side. Then when the EK sets up by his spot, there won't be a clear path to the left and MS can be safe from there. And RP can stand to the south to block the only square through. With that, you will be back to the first pull, and this was enough for us. However, this was during a new server with weaker characters in terms of skills and equipments. For a stronger team, you might overkill the spawn with just this. For dealing with that, you have a few options. First is the one pull by the southeast near the entrance. If that one by itself is not enough to fix the overkill, then you must go outside and clear there. Start by doing one pull right outside the teleports, with EK luring from the north and RP luring from the south. Then you can place walls to stop any Falcons from going to the right towards the mages. Ideally, this should be enough and you will go back inside and continue the lap, but in the case it's not, then you will have to take the exit teleport on the south and follow the path back to -2, clearing a few pulls on the way. This will make your hunt worse in terms of experience most likely, but should stabilize the overkill. As for the experience, it should be somewhere over the 4kk raw. If it is much lower and you're just doing the -2, then it's likely the overkill lowering your XP. In terms of profit, I think a team of 400s is looking at around the 300 to 400k each the hour. Lastly, while you're here, you might as well do Oberon, and although I feel like this is a common tip, I figure I will still include it. You can have pre-made messages that cover all the text responses in 2 phrases. Simply identify them by the starting letter from Oberon if it is a T or not, and use the test message which can be found in the description of the video. That's all I got for this one. If you find it helpful, consider subscribing. Additionally, if you want advice, feel free to join the community Discord to ask questions. Thank you for watching, and until the next one.